I actually have told people every single person on the planet needs a Carrot Bars account. There is not one logical reason to not have this account.
This is Carrot Bars, an MLM scam. And what you're witnessing are the leaders of this particular scam, joyfully smiling on profiting from ill-gotten gains from their victims. And unsurprisingly, these leaders claim that they too were victims. They don't look like victims to me. So the question is, why do people fall for MLM schemes? It has to do with the modern world of consumerism. People feel chronically deprived no matter how much they have. It's not enough. Further, insecurity is flamed by talks of global economic meltdowns and job losses. People have to come to live beyond their means now and are strapped with credit card debt. They need more, and they need it now. This is why MLM schemes are so attractive. You can become a millionaire in just 7 months, as they deceptively enjoy advertising. MLMs are nothing more than get-rich schemes, commercialized cultism, deceptively entangling you in their web of lies and deceit, where you are manipulated and conditioned into their cultic practices, and like all parasites, feed off their host, in turn making them financially sick, where you are to continuously spend money on the scheme. This is Eric Werr, the #1 go-to MLM coach, and he wrote the de facto Bible on MLM, Go Pro, which in reality is Go Pro and the Art of Bullshitting. Anyone who is a professional salesperson will notice immediately the book has nothing to do with sales, but rather that of how to unduly influence and manipulate people. Pressure is placed on recruits to come to weekly meetings as well as special events such as product parties and conferences 24 hours a day, non-stop, in order to condition you in sleep deprivation, isolation of family members and friends, that you become solely compliant and indoctrinated, as Eric Werr likes to say, immersed 100%. MLM recruiters use loaded language in order to control how you think about the situation. They frame their scheme as an opportunity or an investment. They'll try to make it sound like they're trying to help you save the world. And this industry is better than any other industry. Give you their bullshit story of their rags to riches narrative. All of this is taught in Eric Werr's book. There is a lot to lose for an invested MLM recruit, and the MLM so-called leaders know it. These people are not your wealth gurus, motivational gurus, or business gurus. They cannot teach you any of this. The only thing these people can teach you is the art in bullshit. Take your advice from real experts.
So if you compare real entrepreneurs to MLM entrepreneurs, you're going to see some striking differences. Obviously, the low startup cost is one consideration. Industry knowledge. Most people that join MLM do not know their industry. Most people that start a business, they know their industry. Also, innovation. Usually people that join MLM are not innovative. They follow a preset structure, which is their distributors. And I'll say this again, and this is just my opinion, my expert opinion. MLM is not entrepreneurship. You're a distributor working for a preset system. You didn't start anything. So there's no innovation there. Most entrepreneurs, most, not all, have some level of innovation skills. Motivations, they're motivated by different things: money, lifestyle change, identity. Most entrepreneurs are motivated by profitability, building a business, trying to build a competitive advantage in the marketplace. MLM entrepreneurs, as I use lightly, don't think like that. Risk, they're willing to take risk. Most entrepreneurs are risk averse. They don't like to take risks. Business focus, again, their focus is recruitment centered. Someone that owns a business is more market centered or product centered.
You're on this call at the right place, at the right time. What you do with the information that you received today is completely
It's a perpetual gifting economy, and it's uplifting communities and yourself, creating abundance and
create an extraordinary life.
This is your company. And it's set up
obviously
to
I get
create
that
a
question about
legacy
is
for
merit trading international a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme all the time. So I wanted to
Look at the person on your left. You got what it takes. All right.
I'm super excited to be here at this gala.
Obviously, $1.5 million is incredible. Imagine you could earn 7 figures, $1 million in the next 7 months. Obviously, you'll be doing a combination of selling of $999 packs or $149 packs. It's entirely up to you. So really, in the next 12 months, what would you be happy to earn?
FTC has made it clear that MLM companies should only advertise results that are generally achievable. Typical. Note that I didn't say average, which is usually an entirely different number, as Commissioner Phillips noted yesterday. And if they don't advertise generally achievable or typical results, they should clearly and conspicuously disclose what is. So here's a list of examples of income claims that should not be made.
Stop sending me negative messages. You sent me a message last night all about another worry in your head. As the event was starting and I was trying to get my head into the entire meet and greet event, and here I was trying to answer your limiting beliefs. Joe, I'm not going to answer them anymore. It's not my job to answer your questions anymore. Okay? So you either believe in this project or you don't, Joe. And if you don't, withdraw your G999 now, okay, and take your losses. And then say that was a loss of a project, okay? Otherwise, you stay in the project and you start believing what comes off this weekend from stage, and also what is happening with the blockchain, etc. But as long as, Joe, you keep listening to these flippin' haters, because you're in the hate group, I know you are, and you let them feed that brain of yours, and let your brain go into this constant negative space that we've always got to be addressing your limiting beliefs. Joe, it's tiring for us as well, bro. Okay, so I'm not asking you to stop this.
In my research, I took all of the mind control models and I reorganized it in a simplistic way. It's not simplistic, but simple way. Behavior control variables, information control variables, thought control variables, and emotion control variables. And there's a whole long laundry list of some 15 to 25 under each of these things. It's again on my website. I just put a few things here with MLM focus, invest a lot of hours in self-indoctrination as well as going to meetings and conventions, spending tons of time. People often are not sleeping properly. They're being exploited financially. There's a lot of behavior modification techniques, positive reinforcement as well as punishment. Commitment is required. If you want to be a success, then you have to commit. But the goal of behavior control is to instill dependency and obedience on the group. And I should say, cults, if I can go back to this one slide, cults exist on this continuum. In my opinion, you can have benign cults or even productive cults, but you know what you're getting into. You're free to ask questions. You can talk to whoever you want to talk to, and you can leave without punishment or high cost, versus authoritarian destructive cults, which is what I think MLMs fall under. Information control. Information are the tools we use to think. And so withholding vital information, distorting it, outright lying, You're not allowed to talk negatively. You can only talk with your upline. You're not allowed to talk to former members and critics, and if you do, you're punished. Thought control, beliefs and ideology is the truth. The heavy emphasis on you gotta believe, the magical thinking, doubts are evil. A lot of hypnotic techniques and something called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, that I write about in my work. Another element of thought control is loaded language. So a business opportunity or dream stealers is a loaded term for anyone who raises questions about it. Emotional control. So you feel special and you're part of a community, but really it's about phobias, irrational fears that are put into your mind that if you don't do what they tell you to do, you're a terrible person, you're a failure. And Eric and others in this conference have talked about how, there's no positive way to leave unless you understand mind control and you exit.
Anonymous reports are being sent to various crypto portals and published. Even a platform like CoinDesk is spreading the false reports. How is it that you, as an allegedly serious portal, could publish such an article without checking whether it is true? This borders on ridiculous and not only damage the company current boss, but the entire crypto world.
This complete excuse for a human being had the audacity and arrogance to attack media outlets, specifically CoinDesk, in doing its actual job in warning the public about this particular scam, which was carrot bars. This particular excuse for a human being is now on the run. CoinDesk is not the only company that received a cease and desist letter and threats of legal action in terms of defamation. Take OneCoin, the crypto queen. How this woman scammed the world, then vanished. And this is Jen McAdam, who helped expose the actual scam of OneCoin. She has been personally threatened of rape threats for speaking out against a fraudulent company that was ripping people off financially and destroying lives. But one can only praise people, heroes like Jen McAdam, and she's not the only hero. This is Sherry Ward. She is a Ponzi careerist, and she helped form what was known as Mirror Trading International, which was a spin-off of a previous scam which she was ran or involved in, known as BTC Global. And another heroine is Vivian Budge, who took action to help expose Sherry Ward. And like others, Vivian was also legally attacked by Sherry Ward simply to try and silence her. Despite all the threats that she received from Sherry Ward, she stood her ground and is vindicated for warning the public and sounding the alarm. This is Grit Grind Gold, hosted by Chris Saunders, and he has dedicated a channel to exposing what was carrot bars and now been spun off into G999 and continues the crusade of exposing the fraudulent activities that are happening within these companies. And true to form, MLM style, they have also sent him a cease and desist order and to silence him. G999 went one step further. They actually went to go and get a criminal conviction in Ukraine against an American citizen without Chris Saunders being notified of such actions actually taking place in order for him to have the right to defend himself. And this is very typical of MLMers. This is the UN Declaration of Human Rights. And in Article 10, it specifically states everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal and the determination of his rights and obligations of any criminal charge against them. And this is typical of what MLMs do in trying to silence their critics. What makes it even worse, the owner or the founder of G999, Joseph Haidt, has been involved in a number of scams, according to TRM. Now, TRM is a blockchain forensic auditing company that works very closely with the FBI. And one of Joseph's scam businesses is stellarfund.io, and this should not be confused with the cryptocurrency Stellar. They simply are just leveraging off the name Stellar to suck in their victims. And based on TRM's assessment, Joseph Hite's Ponzi scheme, MLM Ponzi scheme, walked away with $70 million from its victims. Off-chain analysis of corporate records and web posts have identified links between the scam and real-world personalities, including the notorious Ponzi organizer Joseph Hite. The promotion of Bitcoin POS, another scam of Joseph Hite, was reminiscent of Hite's earlier altcoin scam G999. And even if we had to look at the stellarfund.io website, it's been seized by the FBI. There is no doubt that the authorities are looking and investigating Joseph Hite. Despite all of these red flags, these people have been conditioned so badly to ignore actual facts that they're involved, potentially, in a massive scam.
The Purge.
If you're a victim in MLM, or you know someone in MLM, you need to speak. You need to stop others from getting roped into what will be a financial and emotional destruction. A lot of emphasis has been placed on the financial ruins of people, but what gets lost in the conversation is the actual emotional destruction that happens to these people. Marriages are destroyed, husbands and wives have left, people in dire situation, people have committed suicide. However, there are many places for victims or people that they know are involved in MLM to get help. Truth in Advertising, or known as TINA, they can take legal action. They can help to expose the deceptive practices that are happening in MLM. They're not the only people. Get in touch with your local consumer protection body. In the US, that would be the FTC. And get in touch with them. You can do all of this anonymously. Help expose this industry for what it really is. You can also get in touch with organizations such as Scambusters. Don't be a victim. Don't let others be a victim. Expose it so our society can get rid of this MLM cancer. There are other organizations such as Dishonest.wiki. There's also Behind MLM, who have dedicated their channel to exposing every single MLM fraud out there. Get in touch with these people. Everything is anonymous, and they can help spread the word and stop others from being victims in these MLM scams. Reach out to Stephen Hassan. Get in touch with him. He's a professional psychologist. Let him guide you. Let him help you to get in touch with other people, perhaps in your country, where you can talk about it and deal with the emotional effects that you've been through. But start somewhere. There's also other movements like the MLM Conference, which is helping to expose the industry for what it really is, getting experts around the world, universities, attorneys, psychologists, people that work within consumer protection bureaus, helping to protect you, your emotions, as well as your finances when dealing with an MLM. And with more people speaking out, more laws can be implemented to stop MLM and eventually get it from being a so-called legal, recognized industry to that of where it rightly should belong, as an illegal Ponzi or pyramid scheme. Make our world better and get rid of this cancerous industry.